A disturbance in the stew, I feel. New Jedi listeners. Strong they are. Subscribe they must. Yes?
Hello there.
Incoming transmission.
You will go to the Dagobah system. There you will learn from Yoda, Master of the Stew.
A Jedi's strength flows from the stew.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
Strong is the stew.
Yoda. You seek Yoda.
Yes.
Hello there and welcome to Yoda Stew, the strongest stew in the galaxy. A Jedi's strength flows from the stew. This is your dedicated spot for all things Star Wars. I'm your host, Ezra, here to guide you through the latest Star Wars news, insights, and discussion from a galaxy far, far away.
Red 12 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 4 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Lock as foils in attack position.
I have a bad feeling about this.
And you thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Hello friends, welcome back to Yoda Stew. The old fire is crackling. This is not Qimir stew. This is Yoda stew.
Yeah, no one wants Qimir stew.
Nobody wants your stew, Qimir. Okay, what the heck, man? I know we're hungry and desperate. She did get up and chug that water bottle right. I'm already spoiling stuff. Okay.
You just said she drank water.
We
don't even know who.
Well, yeah,
what are you talking about?
Okay. Before I dive into it, because I just like to go crazy, just got off the couch, walked over here. 38-minute episode, not even that. What is it, 26 minutes, 10 minutes credits? I don't even know. But yeah, so here we go with episode 6 of The Acolyte, our non-spoiler reaction real quick. Last time we didn't really do this very well in episode 5. Just kind of started spoiling stuff out the gate, so my bad. But what do you think? What do you think, Lottie? Do you think this will... How do you feel?
How do you feel? How I feel?
Yeah, what do you feel like?
I feel relaxed, man. This episode was relaxing. It was great.
Right, you actually probably liked this episode more than you did last episode because it was too intense.
Yeah, there's
scary.
some romance going on, I think. And,
oh my god. Okay.
Just a nice getaway.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're right. That was perfect. Yeah.
How do you feel as a huge Star Wars fan?
Huge fan. Well, some interesting stuff. I always look for lines. I always look for some one-liners or some lore stuff or just, connections to the bigger universe. And it's good. I also just on my Twitter tweeted something, or on my X, whatever it's called. And I think it's pretty hilarious. And I was one of the first people to tweet it online. So I'll go ahead and share it with you guys here in a second. But in general, I think as soon as we started, I saw like probably 5-10 minutes. I was like, it's filler. This is just a filler episode. That's all it is.
Nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to happen.
Just some talk.
Just some talk. Just calm her down. So, in general, yeah, it's 3 to 4 out of 5. 3 stars, 4 stars out of 5. Not really sure.
Out of 5, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just mediocre. It's nothing bad about it. Nothing bad, but nothing, exhilarating unless you're, we'll get to the exhilarating part here in a second, or the parts, I should say. So let's go full spoiler, okay? And by full spoiler, I mean full nude. All right. In case you guys didn't know, we have a video companion to this podcast. We are clothed.
Yes, as we normally are.
As we normally are in Star Wars. We are wearing our clothes. I'm not so sure about our Sith Lord. That is probably the first time. I gotta honestly say. No, I'm sorry. That is the second time we have seen a naked individual in Star Wars.
Okay.
The first time, if you remember, episode 1, what do you mean my parts are showing? What do you mean naked?
Oh my goodness.
What do you mean naked? I actually got my good buddy Lane. He was on, when we did Rebel Watch back in the day, we had a Jedi Trivia Trials. And the question that I stumped him on was, I said, like, who says the following quote?
Yeah.
And the quote is, quote, what do you mean naked? And that was the quote. I was like, who says, quote, what do you mean naked? And Lane just sat there. He was like, there's someone naked in Star Wars? Like, I don't remember that ever. What are you talking about? It's C-3PO. His parts are showing. R2-D2 is coming up.
That's
and
funny.
Letting him know. So I tweeted a little picture out of C-3PO with his parts showing, and I just said Acolyte episode 6 spoilers. What do you mean?
That is
quote,
hilarious.
Quote, what do you mean naked?
You tweeted that?
Yeah, I just did.
Wow.
I hope it's blowing up. It's probably got 5 likes, maybe 1.
I love it though.
I don't really tweet. I don't really do that. So every once in a while I try to pop in there just for fun. Anyway, maybe I'll get up here and do a quick short on that.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny. This, can you name the only 2 individuals that have been naked on screen? It was funny. It was funny. It is what it is. He's out there. It's definitely romantic. He wants something more. He wants something.
Yeah.
He's into OSHA.
The power of 2.
The power of 2. By the way, why are you looking like that? The power of 2 could create the power of many.
Right.
If these 2 powers come together, if that pool got any hotter out there, right? That also looked like some cold water he was in, so I'm not so sure.
Looks so nice though.
It looks nice, but I'm not so sure I would have came walking out of there butt naked.
No.
Anyway, so anyhow, sorry about that, but that's what happened. There's a full, I mean, this goes on for a while. It's intimacy, right?
Yep.
He's trying to seduce her, and I mean seduce her to the dark side.
Right.
Right? Like he's like, come on over here, and yeah. Go
now,
ahead.
question is does that remind you of they named him Smilo Ren? Does this remind you of Ben
Solo?
Ben Solo /
Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren.
Does it
Did
remind
he
me?
try to seduce Rey over to the dark side as well?
Gosh, I mean, that's crazy. So, well, I gotta say, not even close. Not even this guy's his seduction. He's right up there, intimate, real personal. He is pulling at all the different strings. I don't know. It was a total different. It was similar. It is similar. You're right. That's a good point. Because in the end, I mean, Rey ends up, he comes back to the light, right? He comes, Ben Solo.
So instead
Kylo Ren comes back
he
to the
pulls
light.
her to the dark side, she
Right.
pulls him to the light side.
Right. And it was really his mother reaching out through the Force and this whole thing. And then Rey heals him and whatnot. And he's like, no, it's time to come back.
Yeah.
Which was pretty quick and interesting. It was a great way to use Carrie Fisher in that movie. But yeah, it's in this, they're both, he's full dark side.
Yeah.
And it looks like he is seducing and going to be successful in bringing her over to the dark side.
Crazy. Even though he just killed all her friends.
Yep. You know what's funny is that, because he flat out says it. He's like, the relationship that you had with Master Soul is one-sided. Essentially, you care about him more than he cared about you. The relationship that you were cultivating with Jecki, which was pretty clear to everybody, that was also going to be a one-sided relationship. Jecki is a Jedi. She cannot give you what you want. No reason to flirt and do your whole thing with her because not going to happen.
Right.
So
and then Yord also, he wanted to arrest you, even though there was no real evidence that it was you. So trying to corrupt her mind.
Right. And actually he the best, gotta give him some credit here. He's right. They would not be able to actually give her that love and companionship and all those different things that she wants. And we kind of find out in this that she kind of failed, I guess, as a Jedi.
Yeah, that's the only thing she said. We still don't know what happened.
Just that she failed. She failed the trials, and she maybe tried.
Oh, you mean like the trials that Yord, when he celebrated, he finally got to be a Jedi Knight. That's what she she never
accomplished.
Got to that. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this was also kind of a head jerk. Did you feel like you were having some whiplash where you're going like back and forth between the different scenes? Like it was just like bang, like 30 seconds here, minute back over here, minute and a half here, back over here. It was jumping back and forth between OSHA and May so much that I had like whiplash by the end. It was a short episode, but it was kind of crazy.
And then we had a little bit of Ernestra in there.
Yes.
Investigating. You said something interesting because you never thought they would investigate, because now they know, or at least Ernestra knows.
Oh, they know.
She doesn't know exactly that it was a Sith, but there's something fishy about it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me your thoughts, and then I'm going to ask you another question.
Yeah, you're fine. So for me, I guess like if she showed up there, which I kind of expected them to do, I wasn't sure if there was going to be a distress signal or if Soul was even going to get off of the planet last episode, but we see that right away. He goes up and he's telling May, take the wheel, tries to make communication. It doesn't work. And I still think they did some interesting, weird things in terms of like Qimir lands and OSHA has been out of it and is like recovering. And then he's like we start with her there, and then he hasn't even left the planet. Then when we flash back to him, he hasn't even left the planet yet. So it just, again, the timing on these things kind of feel a little bit weird. But back to your point, back to your question, which is, yeah, when Venestra shows up there to investigate and she sees a lightsaber wounds and she sees that there's been a lightsaber battle, her Padawan or whoever that is there with her is also seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
And he assumes that it must be a dark Jedi, a fallen Jedi.
Yeah.
Someone has fallen, and this is clearly like an issue. And what's so odd to me is like Sol was just there with all of them on Coruscant investigating this, and he and his friends have been killed. Like, it's, if you're gonna if you're Venestra and you're trying to tie all this back to, okay, what happened back on Brendok with Osha and May, and you think that, which I don't know what she thinks happens, because it's not like Sol was the only dark Jedi or something, or that like that he would be a dark Jedi, yet the other three weren't, like Kelnaka and Master Indara. So I don't know. That other Jedi or apprentice, whatever, is not making a lot of sense. I don't think again, might not know all the facts, and is just sort of looking around saying a great battle happened here. It was one on many, and there was lightsaber wounds. He's going to go back and tell that to other people at the temple. I would imagine, and I would imagine that Venestra has to file an official report somewhere. You know? It doesn't. She might not be. This might be a covert, off the books thing, because the interesting conversation when we see her first, she is saying to a galactic senator, essentially, you know, they're going to do what's an external investigation.
Okay.
Which means that the Jedi are there. There's going to be a group of senators who would like the Jedi to go through some transparency. Like, hey, can we investigate you guys just as a maybe they do this once every, 15 years, 20 years. Like, let's go in and see how your internal workings are. We are the Senate. We're funding you and giving you money. We want to make sure that you're doing things by regulation, and that you're not like wrongly disciplining Padawans and stuff like that. You know, just that kind of stuff, right? So they want to do this external review. It would be normal, but it happens to be that the external review is happening during a time where there's a crisis. Yeah. And like 7 Jedi were just killed on Kofar. Right. Not a good timing. 3 before that, so we're up to 10. Yeah. Like, we've got 10 Jedi dead in the last 3 days. And and the freaking High Council doesn't know about it. I mean, come on. This is absolutely getting out of hand. Yeah. So hopefully Kiadi-Mundi went upstairs and said, hey, Yoda, come here. Like, Venestra ain't gonna tell you. We're not gonna somebody's gotta tell you off the books here. Maybe she is, I'm not sure. But we have 2 episodes to kind of figure that out. Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy to me. What was did you have another question too you wanted to ask about sorry about that. I went on a... Oh, yeah, just that guy who's... I don't know if he's really her Padawan, but who came with her. He seemed to be the only one. She said, okay, prepare a team, and then it's just the 2 of them. I don't know. Yeah, that was a little strange. Was there other people in the background? I don't remember. There are other people that are boarding the ship with them. Okay. But then when we get to Kofar, they seem to stay up at... Let me get right there. Yeah, they're landing, and then you can see there's 1, 2... There's like a team of 4. Yeah, there's a team of 4. So you have 2 Jedi up there talking to there's some dude who just sits here. I guess this is his job as the landing area on Kofar. He's just the information dude. I guarantee you, by the way, that Qimir, when he left, paid that guy off and said, hey, say X, Y, and Z happened. You know what I mean? Here's a bunch of money. Jedi are going to come. The Jedi that went in, they didn't come out, right? He's the same guy who saw all of them go in. Right. They didn't come out. So here's what happened. They died by, because these insect creatures flying things. Killed everybody, and that's what these 2 kind of figure out. And then he goes over and he tells Venestra. They then go into the forest, and that's where she finds I think the other 2 might just stay outside and didn't go in to investigate it or something, or maybe they went to a different region. We're not, because the thing is, you have to split up, right? They don't know exactly where the trail that they followed. It took them a while to find Kelnaka, so I feel like it's going to take. I just was wondering what you think about the guy, but I think you already said he's kind of strange. He's a little, well, he just doesn't seem like he knows. I don't know. They're making some of the Jedi seem kind of dumb. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Either dumb or not. I can't think of good words for them, but they don't seem to be super intuitive or intelligent or all together. There's also we've always known that there's varying levels. So far removed from anything bad happening to the Jedi that they don't even suspect anything like that. I don't know. Right. Yeah. It's like, it's the golden age, and there's like, he can't jump to the well, maybe it was a Sith.
Yeah.
It seems like no one can say that. It feels like none of the Jedi are allowed to say, well, what if it's a Sith? You know,
right?
Because it's like, dude, like it's almost taboo. It's almost like saying, I don't know, was that a UFO? You know, and if you're in the military, it's like, whoa, dude, don't say. It probably was.
Yeah, we don't want to file a report here.
We don't want to file. No,
don't
right?
say that.
That was a UAP. But don't say anything. Do not, please, do not, or we're all gonna lose our job. Okay, so don't. It's all good. So, I mean, as long as the ET and the UFO and the UAP and the Sith Lord are out there and they're not bothering me, you know, hey, all's good, right? But for the few people that do, they're like, wow, somebody raised the alarm. This is not good. Anyway, yeah, you're right. That's kind of what it is. It's a standoffish sort of, they feel it is their golden age. And so nothing bad has happened to them in a long time.
Yeah.
But this is like significant. You feel like there would be rumblings inside of the Jedi Temple that are like, why are all these Jedi dying? What's going on? And it's you do get a sense that Venestra is keeping a small council on this and is keeping it tight-lipped. But some of these conversations are spilling out into the hallway at the Jedi Temple. Yeah. So, you know, and the Jedi are not known for their deceit and stealth.
Yeah. Plus, what about the Padawans who were training with Jeki or Yord the other day, and then they don't come back, and they're like, what happened to them?
What happened to Jackie? she was in here tearing it up at this training session, twirling her little thing. And what are they going to say when she never returns from a mission? She probably said, oh, you know, she's walking out to her friend like, hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I won't be there. I'm going to Kofar. We're tracking down some mysterious, you know, chick who's like, I don't know, went crazy. And she's like, oh, okay, have fun. Well, I'll see you when you get back. And Jackie's gone. She's
comes back though.
Done. So yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I gotta say, I thought for sure, just to back up a little bit with the Qimir stuff when we're bouncing back and forth here, because the episode did.
Yeah.
But it was like, by the way, that guy that you're talking about, I'm watching on the screen, his hair is ridiculous.
I know.
Do you see his hair?
Yeah.
It's absolutely out of control. It's out of control. It's like sitting on top of his head like it's some, I don't even know what it is. Sorry. Maybe that's, maybe I shouldn't make fun. It feels like it's never mind. Moving on.
What if that's this guy's hair? Just like
I know, that's why I feel bad I even said it. But what if I feel like it's a costume design thing, so now I feel bad that I said it, but whatever. Okay. Back to the mysterious unknown planet though that Qimir is on.
Yeah.
What I think a lot of us were sort of like, is that Ahch-To? For a second, it's an island. It looks like this where Luke Skywalker maybe went. It looked like there was some stone steps coming down. Like it would be kind of ironic. I mean, there's no way he could get away with it because there are caretakers at Ahch-To they'd kind of raise the alarm or be not happy that he was there. But he was a Jedi, so he would have access to Jedi information. And I'm almost wondering if he wasn't at Ahch-To there for a hot second.
Yeah.
And how ironic would that be if you had a Sith Lord go to a place that's long forgotten that Jedi don't come to anymore. Right. It's an old temple outpost sort of thing. And it was something that Luke Skywalker found and went there for exile. Right. Yeah. But this guy, he's living hundreds of years before Luke Skywalker, and maybe he does end up there. Just this unknown planet. Yeah. So it made me think that there could be something interesting there that he's hiding on a place that is connected to the Jedi somehow.
Yeah. Honestly, I had to say this, but their arc in this episode was mostly intriguing, right? You want to know what's she gonna do? Oh yeah,
Osha.
Yeah,
Osha and Qimir.
Yes.
Yeah, that was way more intriguing than the Soul May arc.
Yeah, it felt like you figured. Even though, when did you think Soul figured it out that it's May, not Osha? At what point? Was it the droid? Was it her question about the past, or what do you think made him?
I don't know.
Realize it's not Osha.
I don't know. I think he put her up to the test a couple times. I think he was just testing her throughout the thing to kind of get like, hey, can you go fix that? Can you go work on that? And see what's up. So yeah, that made me think, because it seems like Osha was way more tech savvy and could do a lot more with the ship maintenance and power cycle everything. And it felt like May was sort of at a loss and needed to figure something out. But I think when she came back with Pip or whatever, and the way he kind of giving her a clue that like, oh man, the way you've always talked to that droid has been interesting and it's kind of stood out to me, and now you're not. You know, now you're not
yeah,
talking to it the same way.
Yeah.
And she's sort of like, yeah, but to her, it doesn't it's a clue to us.
Yeah.
But to her, it doesn't really register because she doesn't know how her sister did talk to that droid. So anyway, just sort of strange. I think he figured it out there, though. I think he had some hints.
Yeah.
But wasn't sure and thought it was kind of odd.
Even though, like, he pulled her into a tight hug. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, at that point, I'm not sure.
He was still very emotional, you know, after the death of all his team and friends.
His colleagues,
yeah.
I think it was when he sent her down and she came back. I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely. Maybe you guys can fill us in on what you guys saw or whatever, some hints or something that happened. That definitely caused him to figure it out. But that to me was a more boring arc. You know, it was really just like, I'm like, is Soul ever going to tell? It's going to be the last episode. And it's going to be the last 5 minutes of the last episode where Soul's finally going to tell us something. And it's like, okay, what did Soul do that was bad? I'm sure he did something that was bad, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, I think the more intriguing thing is Qimir. Qimir has now shifted to be kind of interesting. The Cortosis reference was really cool last episode when Lottie and I were doing our initial reaction. I kept saying, you were like, how did the lightsaber short him? And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I was like, there's something. There is a thing that shorts him out. What is it? I had no idea because I was right on the middle of the episode. But Cortosis, right? And we're
is that a technique or is that part of the helmet thing? Or
it is a part.
Armor?
Yeah, so it's a brittle metal. It's it's this sort of coating. It's not strong enough to really be made into armor. It's sort of like a coating, a thin sort of metallic coating that is on top of the armor, and it's a sort of has fibers. Yeah. And what it does is it disperses the energy, or it can so it can block a lightsaber blade. Yeah. But it can also sort of it can send that same energy from the blade back at the blade and short it out. So it has sort of this, I don't know how to explain it exactly, but I'd have to I could pull up a wiki and tell you, but essentially that's its function. Okay. There's very limited amounts of it. It's very hard to come by. There's actually a law in the Republic that essentially states that if any Cortosis is found in the galaxy or inside of the bounds of the Republic, the Jedi have the first right to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Jedi want to sort of control that. They don't want a lot of people to get it because if pirates have it, right? If a lot of pirates or gangsters or whoever, bounty hunters, if they have it and then the Jedi have to go deal with them, it makes their job more difficult, right? Because the lightsaber is their weapon. Right. And so interesting that Qimir has it. I'm actually working on developing sort of a little thought short series here in the Darth Plagueis novel. So I've explained to Lottie earlier that, and again, for those of you who don't know, and maybe are listening for the first time, Lottie is a Padawan. And so she's kind of wading her way through Star Wars. Although you surprised me sometimes with the High Republic references last episode. Yeah. Like I was like, wow, the Nihil. I couldn't come up with her name. And you're like, I gotcha. But anyway, so I was explaining to her that like Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, his master is Darth Plagueis. And Darth Plagueis' master is Darth Tenebris. And Darth Tenebris, at the beginning of the book, Darth Plagueis is obsessed with finding Cortosis, which is interesting that that's in this, whole series, right? So you start thinking people are kind of thinking that either this is Darth Qimir, who is going to have an apprentice later on, Darth Tenebris, maybe. Yeah. Because you somehow have to get from either he is a Sith Lord and is he just a fallen dark Jedi? That could be that he is actually not. There's a story. Let me back up here. Okay. Hold on. Sorry. Let me just back up. There's a story in Legends where, and I forget who it is. It's a dark Jedi who falls to the dark side, and he learns about the rule of two, and he actually comes back and he tells Yoda, or he tells some of the other Jedi about it. His dying words are like kind of revealing some of this. That explains why Yoda knows. Yeah, it explains why. It's the whole. They created that story to kind of help them tell the story as to how maybe Yoda would have. Why would he say that the rule of two? Right. Why does he sort of seem to know about it? He doesn't call it the rule of two, but what does he seem to know about it? I think it was Kajib. I'm trying to find him here. But anyways, he is a dark Jedi that fell to I don't know if he didn't become full Sith, but he definitely knew about the rule of two enough to kind of tell the Jedi about it. So then that's why in Phantom Menace they kind of know. No one believes him, obviously. The Jedi don't believe you know, this guy, the Sith have been gone for a millennium. This dude's just making it up. He's gone crazy. He found a Sith relic and thinks he knows something or whatever, right? They think he's nuts. But turns out that's the thing. That was their way to close that plot hole, sort of. This is why Yoda knows, right? And I've heard other people kind of say, too, that Yoda just studied a Darth Bane holocron at some point, and he got access to that. And I know later in Clone Wars, he does do that. That's later, 10 plus years later, where he does that. In Phantom Menace, you know, they're saying that he's had access to it, that we somehow still knew about Darth Bane, but then after Darth Bane, and we do, they do, it's Darth Bane's line that we don't really know about. And so by studying Darth Bane's holocron, that's how Yoda knows about the Rule 2. Anyways, kind of got on a tangent there. The whole point is that going back through these different masters, if it could be that Qimir is that dark Jedi that is going to give the council and different people a little knowledge that, like, oh, he's not really a Sith. We can kind of call him a fallen Jedi, a dark Jedi. And he may have rubbed shoulders with the Sith. He may even have been an acolyte for the likes of Darth Tenebris or one of these other Sith lords who are actually Sith. And because he says it seems like he has a master. He had a master who betrayed him. And we're going to talk about maybe who that is. Is it Master Soul? Did Soul have an apprentice beforehand? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He would know who, that seems silly, but he was like, you don't recognize me? You don't know who I am? And it's like, well, was this a little tiny Padawan that he had? A little Qimir back in the day that got hurt by his master.
Wait, did he
and
say
left
that
for dead?
To Soul?
Yes, he did. He said, you don't recognize me?
Well, yeah. So because we all think he was there, right, when all the witches died.
Right, but I think now, if you look at, Qimir is older than May, and he's, you know, than May and Osha. I feel maybe by 10 years, right?
Right,
so,
and he was hurt by his master, or like something happened why he didn't
stabbed in the back is
yeah,
what he said, right? And it's like, I don't think, you know, Soul intentionally did that, but I feel like Soul maybe had a small apprentice who was just a Padawan, very little, that he was training, and something happened.
Okay.
And he thought his Padawan was dead, and maybe left him to die or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or they're not showing us all of the flashbacks there at, if, let's say you have master, I'm just spitballing here, by the way, just spitballing. Let's say when the Jedi land there with the witches and they go in to see them, and they're scouting. Let's say at that very moment that, for example, that Soul's not telling us the whole story here, and maybe he had a small little Padawan that was
waiting at the ship,
in the ship somewhere that never came out, that wasn't allowed to because they're not the age of like Master Torben or whatever. I mean, why? I don't know why they would bring a kid along like that, but that's the kind of story I'm trying to think about. That there must be a connection between Qimir and Master Soul for some reason. I don't know. It just seems like they're setting that up, and I'm like, how would that even work? He'd have to be really little for Soul not to recognize him. And then he's shifted his whole spirit and his whole essence to be dark side. So that helps to kind of mask maybe who he once was or whatever. And so Soul doesn't even recognize him anymore because he's gone to the dark side. But that feels like the only thing that it could be, is that Soul had a Padawan, and it could be that Soul rushed in there, and maybe his Padawan rushed through the forest like afraid because all of his Jedi left the ship and he was by himself, and he heard a scary noise. So he ran out into the witches, and then he accidentally gets hit by something, and he's left for dead with the witches and with May. And so he takes
Oh, so you don't think he's involved in killing all the witches?
No, I think he's hurt by a Jedi. That's the how he know. I think he just could read May's mind, and he could figure out about her and Osha and knows their story. He wants an acolyte. He wants an apprentice, but I feel like he doesn't, like he either knows of that story, he's read their minds, somewhere he's been hurt. It even could be well before the witches situation. He might have even been trying to, like, growing up, like maybe Soul left him 5 years ago or 2 years ago before that, and he's hurt and he's been cut in the back or something, and then they think he's dead and he leaves him or whatever. Who knows? It's literally such a mystery, and they've kept us going week by week, inch by inch. They're giving us little tiny breadcrumbs each week, and here you go. Here's a little bit, just a little. Come back next week. I promise it'll be a bigger portion. And it's kind of driving me crazy because I really now I'm starting to think should be a movie. Should just launch this in the in the theaters. This would have been awesome. More awesome, I should say. So yeah, that's kind of my idea as to maybe how, because what other Jedi would we care about that he if Qimir is like, yeah, my master was once, I don't know who, like Kelnaka or something. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Yeah.
Did Kelnaka betray?
Yeah, it feels like there has to
weird.
be a connection.
Right. It's just strange because, and they're telling us that Indara had her Padawan with her. Master Torben is actually Padawan Torben, you know, and he was there with Indara. So you could imagine a smaller Padawan. I mean, look how small Osha. Look how small Osha was when Master Soul was like, I want you to be my Padawan. She hasn't even gone to the Jedi Temple yet. She hasn't even become a Jedi. He's just already vouching and saying, you'll go there, you'll train, and I will be your personal master. I'm going to be you're going to be my Padawan. So I feel like he could have had another Padawan just as young as her, and something happened.
Well, or probably younger, because didn't they feel like Osha and May were already pretty old to be adopted into the
they're
Jedi
like
Order?
8 years old.
Yeah,
right, exactly. So what I'm saying is that like he still could have had a Padawan a couple years ago or 5 years ago that would have been 8 years old back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That Qimir might have been 8 years old out doing something with Soul and gets hurt and gets left behind.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. I can't think of any other Jedi that we would care about.
Vernestra,
yeah, possibly. That would be crazy. That would be crazy if this were actually
but then
her, but she seems so distant and not connected to it.
Yeah.
It seems way more personal, and there's got to be some emotion. And he's had this conversation with Soul. He admitted to Osha, left him alive, right? He's alive. And he's now trying to turn Osha, which would be Soul's Padawan, to his Padawan, right? And he's basically, it's almost like it's a full circle of how I'm going to get back at Soul, right? I don't know. Why?
Wow.
What?
Okay. So this is interesting. First of all, I just realized, Soul and Qimir are both sort of like Asian, right? And Kymir's name, in like the fantasy name Qimir, could mean moon. This is just what I think Screen Rant.
There we go.
Which would hint at a connection to Soul, which means sun, and a potential familial relationship. If Soul and Qimir prove to be brothers. Whoa. It would perfectly fit with the Acolyte's larger themes of dualism and yin and yang. We have the sisters, and the brothers.
Holy smokes, that would be crazy.
That'd be interesting. Sun and moon.
Yeah. Dang. I don't know. Right now, they've got us. I will say I'm still invested enough to kind of say, like, where is this going to go? How's it all going to end? Who lives after this? And how are they connected to the Sith? Yeah. But
I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah. It does sort of give me a little bit more. I guess if Soul comes back to the Jedi and he says, hey, this is my brother, or this is my former Padawan who went rogue, well, then they don't think it's the Sith. Right? Then nobody's thinking this is the Sith.
Right.
And he was like, you would call me a Sith. Well, it's just because he went to the dark side. He's a dark Jedi. You can call him whatever. But I mean, essentially, the idea here is that if that would be perfect. I would really then want to know what all the haters and everybody, and because I've been back and forth on this show, right? I've been back and forth, sometimes good, sometimes bad. This one, I just feel like it's just so short. I'm like, God dang it. I
know, but I love this setup at the island, and what are they gonna, like they really had me hooked. Okay, what is she gonna do? What is he gonna do? And where's this all going? Like, I want to know how. True. There was good intensity between those two, right? I mean,
how could it not get tense when he was coming out of there, butt naked, dripping wet? I mean, but it when the lightsaber is against his throat, right? And when she puts the helmet on at the end, there's a lot of tension there, and he is sort of like, I kind of
giving her the choice, but also pulling the strings, like pulling her over to his side.
Yeah, do what you want, but also like he has such good persuasion. Yeah, that's the thing. His words, every word is just, I don't know, dripping with persuasion. And he's very persuasive. All right. I can't come with the good words today, but because he's convincing me. I'm sitting here like, okay, this guy, the Jedi. I mean, we've been making fun of it, but Osha, the Jedi are good. Well, apparently not. Okay. Right. Chimir's like, no, they're not that good. And let me tell you why. And then she's also fallen out of love with them a little bit. She didn't quite make it. That hurt her feelings, the whole 9 yards. So, you are right. That is either his brother or a Padawan or something. There will be a very good explanation as to why he is not a Sith Lord.
Right.
I guarantee that's what they're going to do. And then I don't know. Everyone who's like, this breaks canon by the idea that this is a Sith Lord when he's not a Sith Lord, and we find out that he really is just a fallen dark Jedi. I think that kind of, I'd be interested to hear what everybody says about it.
So next week is the last episode, or 2 more episodes?
I think there's 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I better find that out, right? But where this is episode 6, I think there's 7 and 8. I feel like there was 8 episodes. So
gotcha.
Yeah. Jackie did not get back up though, and that was the saddest part of the episode. Seeing her there, and I'm like, my God, her and Yord are just not coming back. They're one with the Force.
Yeah, they are.
So bless them. Okay. Just thinking here. Any other? I'm just gonna scroll through here. Any other thoughts? I feel like. Yeah, the end was kind of cool. I mean, she puts the helmet on. I'm frustrated because I want more of the story and I want to know. And I know that's what the creator's job is to do, is to leave you on those cliffhangers and to keep you coming back every week. And so they've definitely done their job there. But I just feel like it's not enough. I want hour-long episodes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this to Disney. I think everyone in the Star Wars fandom would be fine with a 50-minute episode or an hour episode every week, just like they do for House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like much more of a satisfying.
We're spoiled.
Yeah, we are.
Nowadays.
We are spoiled, but I'm just sort of like, I think people would, I just think that you would get better reviews.
Yeah.
I actually think people would be like, man, okay, I really sat down and had an experience. This half-hour experience.
Right. There's a better arc within the episode, not just the whole show, but the episode itself. Yeah.
For example, when you turn on a show, you want to be able to, like us, we sometimes have food, we want to eat and sit down or whatever, and it's like, I have 2 bites and the episode's over. I want to be able to finish my food while the episode's going. I don't want it to be like, oh, what? I still have a sandwich to eat, Yeah. So that's where I think they might want to consider just, give us more. It's fine. We don't care if it, I think they think that would drag, the pacing wouldn't be good and that kind of stuff. We're like, I don't know. I mean, House of the Dragon does it every week. Game of Thrones did it every week, and it was some of the best TV in the world.
Yeah.
Right. So I still like this. I'm still enjoying it. And, we'll have to see. We'll be back for next week and get after it. So, yeah. All right, friends. Hey, remember to keep your clothes on. All right. When you're out and about, don't be, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. That guy was just like, this guy just took me out of Star Wars. I'm shocked. I'm like, okay, this is, what do you mean naked? What do you mean? Sorry. All right. We're done. Thank you guys so much. Hit me up over at YodaStew77 on Instagram or on the Gmail there. Would love to read some of your guys' thoughts as we come into all of this here at the end. 2 more weeks. So let's go. Let's get after it. Friends, as always, remember, may the Force be with you.
It's over, Commander.
Did you hear that?
Don't underestimate the Force.